can see her lying back in her satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. She's been looking like a queen in a sailor's dream, and she don't always say what she really means. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. I can picture every move that a man could make. Getting lost in her loving is your first mistake. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning when I'm losing again. I can see her looking fast in her faded jeans. She's a hard-loving woman, got me feeling mean. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning when I'm losing again. Picking up the pieces of my sweet shattered dream, I wonder how the old folks are tonight. Her name was Anne, and I'll be damned if I recall her face. She left me not knowing what to do. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you. Carefree highway, seen better days, the morning after blues, from my head down to my shoes. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you. Turning back the pages to the times I love best, I wonder if she'll ever do the same. Now the thing that I call living is just being satisfied with knowing I got no one left to blame. Carefree highway, I got to see you, my old flame. Carefree highway, seen better days, the morning after blues, from my head down to my shoes. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you. Searching through the fragments of my dream-shadowed sleep, I wonder if the years have closed her mind. I guess it must be wanderlust or trying to get free from the good old faithful feeling we once knew. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you. Carefree highway, you've seen the better days, the morning after blues, and I head down to my shoes. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you. Let me slip away on you. Carefree highway, I got to see you, my old friend. Carefree highway, you've seen better days, the morning after blue, from the head down to my shoe. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you.
Say hello to Terry Clements on the lead guitar. On the steel, Pee-wee Charles. On the bass, Richard Haynes. And on the drums, Barry Keane. Let's take 5 minutes off here. 5 or 10. Take 5, keep you alive.
When I was 5 years old, my grandmother bought me a plastic Elvis Presley guitar with the signature on it. I just about went through the roof. And from then on, I just always had the guitar. I've been playing with Gord now for 8 years. I like him as a musician. He has really beautiful melodies. And then he says something in the songs, too, that most people don't. He's a real pro to work for.
The studio does sound a lot better than last time we were in here.
The instrument I play, a lot of people don't recognize what it is. A lot of times after a concert, people will come up and say, "What is that thing?" You know. Steel guitar is basically known as a country instrument, but playing with Gord has really taken me into sort of a different idiom of music altogether. You know, it's such a fascinating instrument, and so much can be done with it that's how I got into playing steel guitar. Yesterday we did that too.
We do it twice before you play your first solo.
Before I play mine.
Yeah.
But before Pee-wee's comes in, you only did it once.
Yeah, but that's the way we do it.
Yeah. That's the way we
Okay.
should. We're supposed to.
So actually we're about 10.
Gordon asked me to join the group. I was used to beating the tar out of the drums in the studio. Playing drums for Gordon, I think, is different than playing drums for anybody. It's really not so much what I play, but what I don't play with Gordon. Every note almost has to be thought out, and it has to have some importance to it. And if it doesn't have importance, then I shouldn't play it.
What I mean in that, Rudy, is that Terry's playing a unison line with me while I'm whistling. And it would be effective maybe if you got on him a couple of times. You know what I mean?
Well, I started playing bass back in the 50s when there was too many guitar players around. And I decided I shouldn't play guitar anymore because I'd never get a job. I've been playing with Gord now for about 11 years. And there's a lot of challenge in what we play because I think we're all pretty fussy about what it sounds like, and Gord's a perfectionist himself, so not too much room for sandbagging. But it's a real treat to work with all these guys because we get along so well together.
All you gotta do is do it once more tonight. I'd like to add that these are the guys that play on all of our basic tracks as well on all of our records, which is unusual.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that night when the ship's bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook came on deck saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early. There was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run, when the wild, majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man and long before the wheel, when the green, dark forest was too silent to be real. But time has no beginnings and history has no bounds. As to this verdant country they came from all around. They sailed upon her waterways and they walked the forest tall, built the mines, the mills and the factories for the good of us all. And when the young man's fancy had turned into the spring, the railroad men grew restless for to hear the hammers ring. Their minds were overflowing with the visions of their day, with many a fortune won and lost and many a debt to pay. For they looked in the future and what did they see? They saw an iron road running from the sea to the sea, bringing the goods to a young growing land, all up from the seaboards and into their hands. Look away, said they, across this mighty land, from the eastern shore to the western strand. Bring the workers and bring up the rails. We gotta lay down the tracks and tear up the trails. Open their heart, let the lifeblood flow. Gotta get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Bring in the workers and bring up the rails. We gotta lay down the tracks and tear up the trails. Open their heart, let the lifeblood flow. Gotta get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Get on our way, 'cause we're moving too slow. Behind blue Rockies, the sun is declining. The stars, they come stealing at the close of the day. Across the wide prairie, our loved ones lie sleeping. Beyond the dark oceans, in a place far away, we are the navvies who work upon the railway, swinging our hammers in the bright blazing sun, living on stew and drinking bad whiskey, mending our backs till the long days are done. We are the navvies who work upon the railway, swinging our hammers in the bright blazing sun, laying down track and building the bridges, mending our backs till the railroad is done. So over the mountains and over the plains, into the Muskeg and into the rain, up the St. Lawrence all the way to Gaspé, swinging our hammers and drawing up pay, driving them in and tying them down, away to the bunkhouse and into the town. $1 a day and a place for my head, a drink to the living, a toast to the dead. Oh, the song of the future has been sung. Oh, the battles have been won. On the mountain tops we stand. Oh, the world at our command. We have opened up the soil with our teardrops and our toil. For there was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run, when the wild majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man and long before the wheel, when the green dark forest was too silent to be real, when the green dark forest was too silent to be real, and many are the dead men too silent to be real. Rows of lights in a circle of steel, where you place your bets on a great big wheel. High windows flickering down through the snow. A time you know, sights and sounds of the people going round. Everybody's in step with the season. A child is born to a welfare case.
That's Gordon Lightfoot. The Canadian and international legend passes early tonight at the age of 84. I want to read you a text message again from Brad Wheeler. Brad Wheeler is a writer for the Globe and Mail, mostly entertainment. He writes on his deathbed, Gordon Lightfoot told his longtime friend and booking agent Bernie Fiedler, we had a good run. I think a run that runs through all of Canadians, and certainly if you're of the vintage that remembers many of the songs that were on the radio as you grew up, or perhaps you were playing those songs, like our next guest, who is a real radio innovator. He's a program director, a DJ, and the man behind NYthespirit. We're joined right now by David Marsden. David, thank you very much for your time.
Hi, Jim. It's good to talk with you. It's unfortunate that we have to talk in this particular kind of a situation. Well, you know, we've arrived at a certain point in time when many of us who are music lovers grew up through a 60s, 70s period, and all those musicians from Bob Dylan all the way on up to Gordon are in their 80s. And this sort of thing comes about when you're in your 80s or your 90s, and hopefully for me when I'm 120.
Yeah. I remember talking to you a couple of months ago because you were internationally known for a lot of things. Probably not the first thing you have on your resume, but you were the first DJ to play Dark Side of the Moon anywhere on the planet. So as a DJ, as a person who put the songs on the radio, because I'm guessing you were on the air back in the era where Gordon Lightfoot was cranking out the #1 hits.
Well, Gordon and I go back to early 60s. I had a TV show, network CBC show called Music Hop.
Okay.
And Gordon used to appear on it quite often as a performer. It was a 30-minute show. It was live to air, and it ran coast to coast. And I think it was Thursday nights. And we would have a lot of the musicians, the David Clayton Thomases and all the rest of those people, and Ronnie Hawkins, and one of the performers who would come in every couple of months was Gordon. So we got to know each other pretty well during that period of time. He was, for all intents and purposes, I would say he was a very shy man. There was nothing, he wasn't like blah, 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 or any of that.
It's funny, David, that you say that because everybody's kind of said how humble he was, but it wasn't an act, right? And it doesn't sound like he ever changed from what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did. The last time Gordon and I were together was at a party for Ronnie Hawkins, who also recently left us. I can't remember where the party was, but we were all there, and we were just all trading stories, and you know what it's like when you get together with people you used to know 20 years ago, that sort of thing. And I can't say we didn't hang out together.
Do you remember when you first met him, those stories that you were telling? Did you think that one day you'd be talking about an icon not just to Canada but to the songwriting world?
Well, I tend to live in the moment, Jim, but the answer is no, of course not. Any more than, some of the other performers at the time. I mean, there were performers such as Bobby Curtola, who was big at the time, and he would be on the show quite frequently. David Clayton Thomas, as I mentioned, and many others. But Gordon was very humble. I think he really, really loved writing music, but I think he more loved writing lyrics. I think that was his passion.
Blown away by the number of really great songwriters who would even cover him. So could you tell us what that scene was like in Toronto, Yorkville, with, at its peak? Gordon Lightfoot was a big part of that.
Well, I heard Alan Cross just moments ago talking about Yorkville and how there weren't a lot of bars that sold liquor. It was mostly coffee. But back then, the acid was so good and the smoke was so good that you didn't need liquor. I wouldn't know. I'm just telling you what I heard.
So what you heard, yeah.
Gordon played primarily at the Riverboat, which indeed I believe was owned by Bernie, his manager, who you just quoted moments ago.
Yeah.
And it was, yes, it was hippy-dippy, but it was just a whole group of people of a certain age. At that time, the mid-60s, these folks would have been, 15, 16, 17. And you would go there on a Friday night, and people just be walking around. Alan also mentioned the Minor Birds. There was a club actually called the Minor Bird, and it was owned by the manager of the band, the Minor Birds. And Alan mentioned that Rick James was on. Neil Young was also a Minor Bird back in those days. It was primarily non-electronic. It was primarily acoustic, if you will.
Yep.
and people would just wander up and down the streets. It was a very, very warm, very friendly, a very wonderful place to spend a few hours. Usually the busiest times that there'd be no traffic, cars weren't allowed, so you could walk around wherever you wanted to walk. And Gordon would be playing at the riverboat, and you'd have all the music clubs were all within about a 2-block area of Yorkville. And most of them didn't hold more than I'm going to take a guess and say 75 to 100 people. They weren't big, monstrous gasworks type clubs.
Yep.
And there was so much. It was all brought together by music. That was it. The drugs were part of it, but the real thing that brought everybody together was the music. Whether it was Gordon or some, Dominic Triano playing another club, people of that stature, and mostly primarily Canadians from all across Canada. Well, let me just say this. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. Good night, Gordon, and Godspeed.
Thank you, David Marsden. I appreciate that.
If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, you know that ghost is me. And I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost you can't see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstores sell. When you reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. The heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again because the ending's just too hard to take. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script into number 2. A movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, the stories always end. If you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack. Never thought I could feel this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back.
you